the region, U.S. President Donald Trump has said that the U.S. will very soon start taking action to stop suspected Venezuelan drug traffickers on land. The Trump administration has been weighing Venezuela-related options to combat what he has portrayed it as President Nicolas Maduro's role in supplying illegal drugs that have killed Americans. U.S. forces in the region so far have focused on counter-narcotics operations, even though the assembled firepower far outweighs anything needed for them. U.S. troops have carried out at least 21 strikes on alleged drug boats on the Caribbean and Pacific since September, killing at least 83 people. Let's listen into what President Trump has shared.
And in recent weeks, you've been working to deter Venezuelan drug traffickers, of which there are many. Of course, there aren't too many coming in by sea anymore, if you probably noticed that. From sending their poisons into the United States, where they kill hundreds of thousands of people a year. But we're going to take care of that situation. We're already doing a lot. We've almost stopped. It's about 85% stopped by sea. You probably noticed that. People aren't wanting to be delivering by sea. And we'll be starting to stop them by land also. The land is easier. But that's going to start very soon. We warn them, stop sending poison to our country.
Now, meanwhile, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has claimed that his country has been subjected to 17 weeks of psychological warfare by the United States during an event in which he calls on the armed forces to remain unperturbed in the face of military deployment ordered by U.S. President Donald Trump's administration on the Caribbean. Let's listen into what President Maduro has shared.
Desde hace 17 semanas, fuerzas extranjeras imperialistas amenazan continuamente con alterar la paz del Mar Caribe, de Sudamérica y de Venezuela. 17 semanas de guerra psicológica, presiones inmorales, que lejos de atemorizar a nuestro pueblo, han despertado una fuerza fabulosa de resistencia, de conciencia nacional.
Now for this discussion, we welcome back Professor Collins Chung-Yu Keat. He's a Foreign Affairs, Security and Strategy Analyst, joins us live from Kuala Lumpur. Thank you very much, Professor, for staying with us. Now, looking at this, do you think that U.S. is again, or Trump in particular, is again outsourcing the problem or blaming other countries, in this case Venezuela? Don't you think if U.S. decides to educate their own public of the harms of drug use, this could be combated?
Well, clearly it has not been working. We have seen that before under the Biden administration, and before that, of course, it has not been working. The problem still continues. The root cause of the problem has not been tackled. The cartels simply adapt from the seas to the lands corridors. So, of course, if Trump doesn't move fast, they will continue to exploit the blind spots. So we have seen how this maritime operations, they only catch shipments of the products, and land operations, meanwhile, they disrupt the production, staging sites, in terms of supply chain and cartel link militias and all that. So they inflict deeper strategic damage on the cartel. So and of course there have been accusations that all these activities have also been being ignored by the administration. So and of course the US cannot allow these narco states to operate with impunity in the Western Hemisphere. So if this is tolerated, of course other regimes could also replicate this notion. And Trump is simply enforcing the Monroe Doctrine logic to a certain extent, that no hostile or criminal state structures can exist near US borders, and this will need to be tackled from the beginning. And if this is not addressed well, then the suffering of the American people will continue in terms of deaths daily of these drugs and fentanyl being smuggled in. So this is only yet another a Trumpian classic approach of protecting the safety and security and interests of the American people first, and to do things that have not been done before, which might not be popular, which might not be politically correct, but which have to be done in order to safeguard the lives of the American people and, of course, the safety and security of the region as a whole. So, and people are with him in this aspect, and people are highly supporting his measures. because they are well aware of what previous administrations have failed to do in the name and the banner of political correctness and liberty and of course the rights and norms of conventional approaches, but not with Trump. His approach has of course also been dealt with tough measures and deterrent measures, and this is what I think the American people wanted from the very beginning.
Right. With that, I would like to thank Professor Collins for joining us today and sharing that insight throughout our news. Thank you very much. Now we move on to Europe. Ukraine